Where's TK today?
Still right here at El Malpai.
Yeah, it's a beautiful view. As you can see, just amazing everywhere. Week 11, we're doing the overview where we spent Carlsbad. We were camped at sunset that night and we had reservations. Carlsbad Caverns is a timed entry location that you have to apply for. It's $1 and you put your name in the queue. And then you get you pick a time that they have available. We picked 9:30 because anytime after 9:30 you can show up. That's the one thing nice about picking the early time is you have from between that time all the way till 2:30, which is the last cave entry time that they allow. We generally like to go as early as we can because there's less people and it's not as child rich, if you will.
It is beautiful. I mean, it's busy and the caves are gorgeous. I felt like Kartchner was prettier and much more restricted on what you can do, etc. And those caves are still alive with the dripping water, etc. Carlsbad, beautiful, a must-do. Really good look into a cave system, but very not as alive.
Yeah, and massive.
Yeah,
massive.
Huge.
It is so large and there's so much of the sections that you can't get to. I mean, they had areas where they were climbing 150 feet up a rope in finding caverns that nobody had ever explored before. The moisture down in the cave is regulated to the point where at one point they would leave the elevators open to get the cool draft into the gift store so that way they didn't have to air condition it. But they were finding that the humidity was dropping in the cave and the pools were shrinking. So now they have airlocks where between the elevators and the exits. So the cave is very well regulated and just to try to keep it where it is.
I mean, it's nice that they're going to prolong its use, but it also, I think, enriches everybody to be able to go in and see what a cavern is like and understand how and why it needs to be preserved as well.
It's much different than the Parks Ranch cave. That was a narrow cave. At widest, it was 6 feet. Tallest, it was 10 feet. The Carlsbad Cavern Cave was hundreds of feet. Absolutely gorgeous. Got to do it. I'm glad we had the opportunity to run down there and check it out.
Which brings us back to the park's cave system, because that's where we went back to and stayed the night, right by those less official park caves.
So we could get up the next morning and just go hike in those caves. It was funny when we go down in there. Karen's in front, and she's super nervous about dark caves.
I don't love it.
And unexplored areas that we haven't,
I'm a good Canadian girl. I don't go where I'm not supposed to go.
The door wasn't locked. I didn't cut it open or anything. It was fine.
That's true. And I didn't look at the signage before we went in either. So I didn't actually know that it was trailed and
it's completely mapped, yeah.
And there was a path that everybody goes to. Hey, there's a hole in the wall. Let's go crawl into it. Yeah. And we did. And when we walked in, all I felt was stuff falling on my head. And I'm like, wait a second.
Karen turns around with our eyes as big as saucers.
I thought, so yeah, I think I need to think about this for a second and why there's rocks falling on my head as I walk into this cave. But we'd bothered an owl. There was a big, beautiful owl sitting up on the ledge above us, and it kind of took off into the cave. And then I was worried about the owl. I don't want to go in and scare this owl deep into this cave system.
Yeah, we were reevaluating whether we should go in because the owls, that's their home, and we don't want to force it into the cave where it's not used to or something. So we sat outside for a while and tried to assess the situation. We decided to walk in, fuck the owl.
We decided to walk low and slow so that if it did start to fly out, it wouldn't be impeded by us.
We could lay down and let it roll by.
Yeah, and it lives in the freaking cave. It didn't care. It was in a little crevice and it waited for us to walk by, and then it went about its life.
Yeah, you can see Karen saw it. It had already hopped up farther into one of the crevices. We continued on.
Yeah, I can't not worry.
Did you turn around and walk out, or did we walk out and then I went back in?
Just that day we went to the end and then came back, and then the following day you went in on your own.
An end being, it didn't look very fun after that point.
Yeah.
It is miles of caves under there. When I went in quite a bit farther. I figured I walked about 3/4 of a mile underground, which was just spectacular. Had a smile on my face the whole time.
And I love that you love that.
Yes.
But also, I also heard that the way you decided to come out was maybe yay big, and crawling in the dirt and through the water, and like, I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was an army crawl. I was soaking wet with sweat. because it's not that deep. It's very humid in there, and it's physically demanding. My buttocks hurt for quite a few days afterwards because I was in such a crouched position for a considerable amount of time working through the cave. But yeah, there was one section that the water was about 2 feet deep, and I was clinged onto the walls, having a good time. And then on my way back, having a good time until I didn't, and I slipped into the water, and then the water goes into my boots, and then I'm walking around in little pools all for the rest of the cave adventure.
Sounds like total fun.
Yep.
And I think we packed up and left that day and went through Roswell. Not much to report on Roswell. I'm sure it's a fun little town with lots going on, but it was, I don't know, maybe Monday?
Yeah, most everything was closed on Monday.
Everything was closed, and there wasn't, and yeah, nothing going on.
And they still had the museum. It was $7 to get into the museum. We're like, We passed through it.
Mm-hmm.
We camped at that top place, but I forgot what it was called.
Oh yeah, that was West Mesa Road.
West Mesa Road, okay. It was outside of Captain, New Mexico. After we left Roswell, we headed to Captain, New Mexico. We had some BLM land. We just camped out there for a couple days. I had to do some work on the truck battery. We got new batteries for the truck because the Optimas that were 6 years old, they finally kind of let us down. We had to jump on a few times, and it's brutally cold out here, so it needed new batteries.
They paid their dues.
Yep. And so I had to readjust the terminals for a different size battery because Optimas are one size and they have adapters. The next day we got up and we headed to Captain, New Mexico, where Smokey the Bear is originally from. Smokey Bear.
Smokey Bear.
Not the Smokey Bear, just Smokey Bear. So hard to say that.
Yeah, I was raised up saying Smokey the Bear too.
Yeah. It's a little thing, all memorabilia of Smokey Bear. The story where he was found after a forest fire through the Lincoln National Monument, or Lincoln Forest. He was found abandoned, holding onto a tree and badly burned. He was used as the spokesperson, Spokesbear.
I like that, Spokesbear.
Spokesbear for forest fire prevention and managing your fires in the forest. 90% of all forest fires are started by human. And this was something that started back in, what was it, the 20s or 30s?
Yeah.
And Smokey the Bear, he ended up retiring or living in Washington at a park or a zoo out there. But he was put to rest at Captain, New Mexico, in the Smokey Bear Museum. Yep,
I mean the museum is heavy firefighting information and memorabilia, which is cool because they go hand in hand. There's only so much you could say about the bear to be a whole museum.
After that, we headed to El Morro National Monument for a free little campground. And we thought, this is great, this is wonderful, until the temperature turned on us. That son of a bitch. It was down below freezing for 2 days. The lowest temperature was
minus 18 Celsius. It sounds scarier in Celsius, so I'm going with that. But it was like 0?
Yeah, 33 degrees below freezing. The battery system shut down, but for charging power, so that was hard. The truck took 15 minutes to start. I just had to keep cycling the glow plugs. The starter kept having issues with it. It did eventually start. Part of me thinks maybe I shouldn't just leave it running on times like that. Quite a few people say it's fine to do on the 734.
Well, let's not go into those temperatures. I mean, we do live on wheels, so although I did have to knit myself some little wristlets as well, just to.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. It was so cold. We did hike the Inscription Trail at El Morro National Monument. There are 700 or 800 inscriptions on the sandstone dating back to Pueblo Native American times, when there would be a water source there that was the most reliable water source within 30 miles around. We could only hike that little section because the back section, the Headland Trail, was closed because of frozen. So the first day we're like, okay, fine, we'll just do the Inscription Trail. The next day we called them and said, we've been here 2 days. we'd really like to see the Headland Trail, and talked to the ranger, said, hey, you know, what if we told you we were Canadian? You know, we're used to the snow. Didn't actually say we were both Canadian, but I said, what if I said that? And so he went and talked to his manager and he said, you know, how about you guys come in and I'll take you on my rounds, because I'm supposed to walk that area to check the trail, and I'll take you, and when it gets icy, we'll turn around.
Super nice, super informative. It was a great little walk.
Yeah, Bill was very helpful, and it was like having our own personal guide. Just me and Karen and Bill.
Where the walls collapse, those are been about your roof sizes.
Oh, wow, okay.
They've been used for storage or personal things. We have these larger square areas and the circle area a little bit more cable.
Like the public places, right? The meeting areas or
Yes.
religious.
So where you have the different.
Walking along this trail, and he would tell us all about it and the history and the way the rock formations and the way the people of that area. Nobody really knows what happened to them.
They just kind of disappeared, which has been a repeating story we've seen throughout our travels through Arizona, New Mexico.
You know, we left El Morro National Monument, and we headed into Grant for a supply day. We did a full supply run at Walmart. We went to Pizza 9.
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh. If you're ever in Grants and want a pizza, Pizza 9.
Yeah,
top notch.
I forgot we were watching some movie or a video or something like that where they're eating pizza, and I'm like, oh my god, I haven't had pizza in so long. I want pizza. And it did not disappoint.
No, and we still have some for lunch and dinner, because we
Oh, that's right. Let's wrap this. All right, we're gonna go get pizza. See you guys. All right, maybe we'll finish it. Let's see.
Other than that, propane. We got stopped for propane.
Yep, we did the New Mexico Mining Museum.
Oh yeah.
Very reasonable, $6 to get in, and you go underground, and they have an entire area set up with voices from the people that used to run the uranium mine in Grants, New Mexico.
There's a 77 cubic foot tower and would hold around 4 tons of ore. Over in the far corner is located a porta potty. These were strategically located in the active areas of the mine and generally were serviced on graveyard shift. In the immediate area of the station were located the settling basins and pump rooms for gathering and pumping the water that flowed into the mine and directed
Practice mining equipment.
Hello, I'm Chad. I have 28 years experience in the uranium mining industry in Ambrosia Lake. The steel chute being illuminated were used by the motormen to load the ore into the cars for transportation to the main shaft. The control valve on the opposite rib was used to open and close the door of the chute until the ore car was loaded to the motorman's satisfaction. As the ore horizon was generally above the haulage level, the miner used gravity feed to assist him in loading the ore into the ore car.
Or mining levels, haulage tunnels or drifts were advanced by drilling and blasting. The broken material was then removed by a mucking machine shown here. The miner would stand on the steel plate step, and by moving the handles on the side of the machine, he would cause it to advance into the broken rock and then lift the bucket over the top of the machine and deposit the material into the ore car behind it. This would clean out the track drift face in preparation for another cycle of drilling and blasting. Please note that
I've been working in the uranium mining industry for 30 years. Remember the subdrift round with the loaded holes? The face you see here with the scraper in it is the result of the blasting of the 6-foot round observed at the previous station. Note the chute block hanging from the rock bolt in the back of the new face. The drifts we have observed so far were driven in the ore body to block out.
It was the biggest uranium mine in the States that they would, during the war, they were looking for uranium, and it's quite a big process.
It used to be carrots, but they evidently used all of the water to the uranium mine and ended up they had to move on from the carrots.
Yeah, the government said, sorry, carrots, you no longer have water rights. We're giving it to the mining operation to process uranium for the war. It was really fun because they had all the original stuff underground. The miners, when they closed the mine, all the miners still lived there, and they wanted to build something that would show the people what the process of getting the mines out. So they dug all this underground area and they reinforced it. And there's little audio tours where you can listen to all of the miners tell their stories and tell how the operation handled, and quite fascinating.
It was really well done.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. If you're ever in Grants, New Mexico, stop by the Miners Museum.
Mm-hmm. And does that bring us to the fry bread, since we're talking about food?
Yes, but next door to that was the Mother Whiteside Memorial Library and Museum. A bunch of old stuff, really cool. I mean, Sears catalogs.
Yeah, old telephones.
Old typewriters.
Sewing machines.
All sorts of interesting things. And then they had the history of where the carrots used to be the main crop there, and then uranium. And then they switched to something else, didn't they?
Well, there was cattle at one point too.
On our search for propane, thanks Google, it's like 7 places didn't have it. Okay, 2. And finally found propane. But on our way to get the propane, we ran by an old Indian sitting outside of his PT Cruiser. I keep seeing the fry bread at different places, and every time we stop, there's nobody there. So I'm excited.
Where are you coming from?
We're coming from California. We've been on the road for about 2 months.
Wow.
We're just kind of floating around.
Yeah, you gotta want the oil nice and hot, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
What you're doing, it's like frying chicken or whatever. You want to fry?
Yeah, if you don't get it hot enough, it just absorbs. It all gets, yeah. Frying up Indian fry bread.
Seen signs, several locations, I think, since Arizona, and it was enough. And Tom's like, "Okay, we're stopping." Turn and slide in it.
$3, and we come in hot. A very interesting Indian gentleman. I forgot his name. Horrible name.
Jarain, something like that.
He told us about a lot of the Indian history and about how the conquistadors brought lard, and so the Indians then were able to fry the bread instead of just baking it in the ovens.
You make the dough as well?
Yeah. They say a long time ago, they would just leave the dough. Fry bread dough?
Yeah?
Yeah, and then like when the Spanish and all them came around, they had the lard and stuff. And then that's when they started making the fried bread. Yeah.
Well, you can't go wrong once you fry something, I suppose. It's gotta be cold sitting out here for you.
Yeah, but it's usually colder.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, we usually have snow and stuff.
Oh, really? Out here?
Yeah, but there's nothing. This past 2 days is all the snow we got.
Yeah. We
Usually
stay.
we get snow like Halloween and Thanksgiving and throughout December. And don't clear up till like March. Whatever's after March, it will start May.
I'm not sorry we missed it.
We're up at Morrow National Monument last night, and it was -1 overnight. It was pretty cold.
I live on the other side of that place.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. In a place called Mountain View. But yeah. So which way you guys going?
Tomorrow we're gonna go towards Albuquerque.
The one
In general, we're just wandering around the U.S. for a couple of years.
Well, if you guys wander around, you ought to check out some of the reservations.
Yeah?
The Indian res.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Anyone in particular?
Salt.
Mm-hmm.
Fried bread?
Mm-hmm.
Ice and sugar? Can't go wrong.
Tastes like fried bread. I forgot his name. And so this is an old tradition. He also told us about powwows and about how there are a lot of powwows that are closed to just the tribe because it is a very sacred ritual that they do. Because he's like, you know, if you're out looking for history, there's no bigger history than Native American history.
I appreciated his input because absolutely, if you're going to look at the history of seeing all the national parks and getting the history of the land and the rocks, etc., that goes in hand with the people that lived here first. And as he said, it gives you a different and a better perspective when you're looking at the parks moving forward.
Yeah, and Native Americans lived off the land. They moved with the seasons. They weren't agriculturally based. They were nomads, basically like us.
Yeah.
We're just moving from Walmart to Walmart.
Yeah, they had to grow their own stuff. But
Yeah.
Could you imagine if they had Walmart too?
Oh, I know. No, I don't even want to imagine. So that basically led us to this campground where we're at right now, which will be week 12. It's the Joe Seek Free Campground in
El Malpai
El
National
Malpai.
Monument.
That wraps week 11. I hope you beautiful people enjoy watching our videos and like and subscribe. We'll see you out there. Oh wait, no, I say happy trails, you say.
We'll see you out there.
Bye.